cabin crews as time goes along, and we're going to add all kinds of features. Yeah. I'm so glad you guys noticed that. By the way, they adopt these personalities, by the way. The grade A group, that's exactly what you would expect on a normal flight. Quitting time, yeah, they've had enough. And for those who are our customers, raise your hand if you're familiar with our tour guide, Janet. Anybody here? A few people? Okay, good. Janet is very funny, and she is now, she can now be your flight attendant in addition to her role as a tour guide, so you can bring her in there. But I want to emphasize, and this is really important, guys, we keep our promises. And that promise I mentioned to you about price, that as the cost of this insanely cool AI technology comes down, we would pass that along to you. Guys, we're making good on that today. As of right now, the price is now $19.95 a month instead of $29.95 a month. I'm very excited about this. We did it. We're not done with the price drops, by the way. Again, as the price of the technology platforms continues to go down, we intend to pass those on to you guys. Stop by our booth. If you can't, we've got a 24-hour trial that is free, so anybody can go in and try it out, see what it's all about. But at our booth, we're also giving away discounts for $5 off your first month, which should be very cool, give you a chance to really get in there for 30 days. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Come say hi to us. Come say hi.
All right. Thank you very much from Say Intentions, and I gotta say, I'm probably never gonna be a real world pilot at this point, but now I can cross off being made fun of by Kennedy Steve off my bucket list, because I can just do this. So fantastic, dreams do come true. What are your guys' thoughts?
It's definitely a nice milestone in the ATC world. There's a lot of really great ATC things happening in flight simulation, and this is definitely a big one. The price drop, that was pretty kicker. And then the 24-hour free trial, it's a hard argument. If you guys are afraid of getting into air traffic control, this is definitely a good first step. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I think for bringing new people into the community, into flight simulation, the different languages, the different accents, you know, being able to use an AI ATC if speaking with a real person isn't comfortable for you to begin with, or maybe ever. Right. I think this is a really exciting, you know, really exciting way to engage with ATC. And myself, I keep hitting my mic. The one person who I know in my real life who is an air traffic controller, used to be military, now civil, is a woman who sounds kind of like me. And I don't really hear that in, you know, in other simulations. So I kind of like being able to customize
Very cool.
this AI.
The one last note before we go on to CAV simulations here is that he mentioned something I had never thought of before is, as someone who uses VATSIM a lot, there are those gaps where you take off at full ATC and suddenly you're on your own, or vice versa. And never thought about, oh, I could just pick that up and take the rest of the flight that way with Say Intentions, or do it until I get to somewhere where VATSIM comes online. So very cool flexibility built in with that. So we next have CAV, is it CAV simulations? CAV simulations is here. James Cavanaugh is going to present, and they do some hardware for Airbus panels, it sounds like. So take it away, sir.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here today. My name's James Cavanaugh, and I'm the founder and director of CAV Simulations. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at FlightSimExpo 2024, and I have some exciting news that I want to share about our latest products, which are going to be the airport LED displays. But before that, I want to have a little chat about what we do before that. What we started off doing was, about 18 months ago, I started off with a simple yet ambitious goal to provide high quality and affordable flight simulation hardware. Our initial focus was on creating bespoke LCD displays for the Airbus A320 family. We thought that there was a gap in the market for home cockpit builders who wanted realistic, affordable hardware that could meet the needs for their home cockpit building. We worked really closely with some real Airbus pilots to develop the displays that you can put into your panels to make them as accurate as possible in terms of the color, the font, the segments, making sure that they tried to give us that true-to-life experience that we're all searching for. They've been received very well so far. They've been on sale for about 18 months, and we've been blown away by seeing how you've been putting them into your products, putting them into your panels, and I really encourage you to keep sharing those pictures with us. But we offer the full range of the cockpit now, from the FCU, the EFIS, the RMP panels, the TCAS panels, the battery, the rudder trim. It's all there for the entire A320 family. So our journey's been incredibly rewarding, from these first prototype panels which we launched in March 2022 to the fully developed products that we're offering today. We've worked hard to try and balance getting the cost and the accuracy, ensuring that we give the quality that you all expect. They are out and ready. The next thing that I'm going to be talking to you is about what we're releasing today, which is our airport LED boards, but more on that a little bit later. We really think you're going to enjoy that. So, what are these airport LED boards I'm talking about? These are PCB boards covered in LEDs, denoting all airports that we will be bringing out. At launch, we're doing Heathrow, Innsbruck, Munich, Amsterdam, and of course, Las Vegas. These will show you real-world, real-time, live air traffic data on the comfort of from the comfort of your own desk. But not only that, we are giving you the option to just press one simple button and it will show you the virtual world as well, so you can see yourselves moving around the airports in real time. I want to talk a little bit more about those, and I am going to be doing, I'm tempting fate, I'm going to be doing a live demonstration of the real products here. So let's dive into a few key features of these boards. Each one of them is meticulously designed to provide an accurate and detailed representation of the airport layouts, including the runways, the taxiways, and the parking stands. The LEDs are all colour indicated, with red for parking stands, green for taxiways, and the runways are multicoloured, which will change colour based on the airline that is on that runway. You can switch between, as I said, the real world and the virtual world with just the simple touch of a button. In the real world mode, the display shows the live air traffic, giving you a real-time view of what's happening at the airport. And you can track your own movements around, as I said, by switching to the virtual world by the press of a simple button. Why would you do that? Well, you can do simple things like just by viewing on your desk before you even logged in, you can see whether there is an ATC online for that airport. You can see what parking stands are available. You can spawn in at the ones you want, and you can also just be mesmerised by watching the traffic going around. Installation is incredibly easy. We've designed the system to be completely user-friendly with no expertise of any kind required. You can easily swap between different airports very easily, and as I said, I'm going to be tempting fate by trying to do a live demonstration of that. One thing I want to show is we have a singular universal control board which will power any of our airports. We've done this deliberately so you only ever need to buy one of these and you will be able to run any of our airports without putting all of the expensive logical parts on every airport. You can just buy the cheaper airports to add to your collection. It's the heart of our system. As I said, it's designed to support any of our airport displays, which we think will help keep the costs down, making if you want to expand your airport collections, you only never need to buy just the one of these. Setting up the board is straightforward. When you power it up, it will broadcast its own access point, like a smart light bulb, a smart plug. You just connect to it, provide it your Wi-Fi details, and that's it. It will start working. You then plug it into one of our airport boards. Just plug it in to the back of the board, and it easily plugs back in. And then if you wanted to change airports, you would unplug that and plug that into the next one. I am tempting fate. And then there, it just mounts like that. We've got PCB mounting holes as well in all the corners, so you can put it in a frame, hang it on the wall, put it on your desk, and have it wherever you want. One of the standout features of our system is the flexibility it offers. As I said, you only need to purchase the one. So what about these makes them unique? Well, the combination of our LED mapping and the real-time data integration is one of a kind. It easily provides the ground traffic, whether you're monitoring the real world or participating in virtual flight simulations as well. We think, as I said, imagine having this detailed interactive map on your desk while you're in cruise, waiting for ATC clearances, queuing for runways. You can see your own aircraft moving around the airport. You can just check for the available stands and know if there's any ATC by the tower at every airport has its own LED, and if there is coverage, the LED will light up, and in the real world, obviously, there will be a controller on, so that will always light up as well. We've programmed over 500 different airlines with their own unique colours based on the primary colour of their logo. We think this attention of detail enhances the realism and gives you some more level of immersions. Moreover, the data stream for the real-time traffic is going to be completely free, and it will remain free for the life of the product. There is no mandatory subscription to use this product. Once you buy it, that is it. You will have access for life. We will be offering optional subscriptions to get premium features such as higher refresh data rates, the ability to choose your own colours for airlines. If you work or participate in a virtual airline, you can give your own airline its own colour as you wish. If you don't like the pre-programmed colours, you can change them to whatever you want for your own airline as well. We'll also add the ability for you to identify your particular call sign, and it will blink to let you know where you are, easily find yourself as well, amongst other features that will be coming. But none of that will ever be mandatory. You will only ever have to pay for the cost of the board, and access to the data stream will be free, and we promise and guarantee that. Now, let's tempt fate by trying to do a live demonstration. We're going to talk about setting up, putting things together, and the initial setup itself, from connecting the device to the Wi-Fi and to the server, into the servers, and then just using the boards and what they look like. So I've got the next slide is going to put up a live camera here, hopefully. Yes, it does. So hopefully you'll be able to get a better look at the board. So I'm going to show you here Las Vegas. We have other airports available, as I said, but the time zone difference, I'm pretty sure it's about midnight in Europe, so there's not going to be much traffic. So we're going to focus on the Las Vegas boards. So let's give you a closer look at one of the universal control boards. It's a simple, camera's in the middle, isn't it? It's a simple product here. It's got a power connector, which then powers the actual board itself. But in terms of how you interact with it, it's a singular USB-C connector for power. We provide a power supply, but we've also just recommended the spec, so you can also provide your own power supply if you wish. Simple reset buttons and stuff like that as well, but that's literally the only interaction with that is plug in the power. And as I said, it just then connects to the board here. Now, I'm just keeping an eye on my time. I want to show you this working, so let's get this in here. When it powers up, it will scroll up and down, saying it's connecting to the servers. And it's still got a blinking Wi-Fi light. It's trying to there. It's just now connected to our servers. And here we can see all the aircraft currently live at Las Vegas. Excuse my shaky hands. We've got all the parking stands in red, aircraft on the taxiways in green, and the aircraft on the runway currently denoted by the different colours moving around. This is the standard data rate. So you're not seeing the premium one, this is the standard data rate. And I don't know, I haven't checked if there's anybody on VATSIM, but I'm going to very quickly press the button here. And that is currently live VATSIM as well. It's as simple as that, just by pressing the data source buttons on here. I am out of time, so I'm going to end it there, but I'm going to be here for the whole weekend, and I would love to talk to you more about this, and I'll have these with me. So thank you very much for your time, and if you want to see more, please come and find me.
All right, kind of a unique, not only just panels that are helpful for those of you that are into the home cockpit simulation stuff, which I've been in some of these like home cockpits and they can be elaborate. So there's definitely a market for that if you're one of those guys that needs LCD screens for that. But also just the kind of artistic piece of that. You know, take flight simulation and make it an art piece in your house for your local airport or an airport you think is cool, and look at live traffic. That's pretty neat. So.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, like how creative people can be about. I'm sort of expecting, hardware, software kind of discussions here at this presentation about, how we can use some of this in our flight sim. But even as a design feature, I think that's kind of an interesting thing that they've done. Yeah,
Absolutely.
You hit it right on the point, especially with the artistic piece too. That's the part that sort of came to my mind. It'd be kind of cool to have that behind me while I'm doing the on-camera stuff. Like this being serious, it would sort of brings the rest of the room to life.
Exactly.
I like it. Yeah.
It's kind of like having a flux capacitor behind you moving around. But
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
So up next, we're going to have the folks from, let's see, what is it, Winwing, I believe? Just check my notes here. Yes, Winwing is going to be here next. And they are just about set here. They are going to be displaying in booth 420 this weekend. So be sure to stop by. They are doing some really nice flight sim hardware, and so we're going to hear from them right now. Take it away, sir.
Hello. All right, thanks, guys. I wanted to make sure that everybody can hear me. How's my sound on the back? All right, perfect. Folks, my name is Tony. I'm the product design consultant for Winwing. Before I begin our presentation today, I would like to thank the management member of the FSExpo. Thank you for this great opportunity so we can stay on the front stage today. I believe this is our first time participate in such a great event. And I would like to thank the audience here. You guys helped me a lot during my tough years and in my upbringings, and the flight simulation has always been a part of my upbringings. So a little background about me. I'm currently serving as flight crew members for one of the U.S. major air carriers. I flew almost all the Boeing aircraft, 73, 75, 76, 777, now back to the 73. So this community has taken care of me during my tough years, like I talk about it, right? So, all right, let's get back to business then. Let's see okay, right there. All right, cool. So, Winwing begins as one of the hardware companies that we are specializing in the commercial level flight simulators. We have the closed loop loading, the load control feedback systems, OpenGL graphic implementations, fly model researches, and we are doing using the rear aircraft to research the fly models and the actual aerodynamic numbers that we're using it. So, with all those things, we have successfully obtained the level 5 FTD certifications from Civil Aviation Authority of China. So, now all of those things seems to be a little far away from a flight simulation standpoint. I mean, home use flight simulation standpoint. So, but in reality, we are be able to bring down the cost and bring up the accuracy of the hardware and the software at the same time. So, as we navigate our business throughout this region, we received numerous requests from our friends, from the flight sim enthusiasts to ask us, is there any possibilities that you guys getting into the hardware market for the flight sim region? So with the sheer volume of requests that we started looking and to provide a full set of flight sim gear for the FlightSim 2020 or X-Plane platforms and the DCS platforms. So this is part of our products over here, or Cessna 152 FTD level 5s, Diamonds, the level 4s. But now we're actually be able to do something that's really great and with a lower cost. So this is what we did in the past couple of years. It's a one-stop shop solution for the hardware for the military simulations. As you can tell, that's a F-18 seat over there. We're talking about this, the ordinary people when we're seeking the realistic training level for flight experience at home often face unrealistic high prices, right? Sometimes even they say it's a competitive price. I totally get it. Yeah, it's somewhat higher than what we can afford. So, not just about the price, also the complexities of the project. Let's say I'm buying a bunch of the hardware. How did I connect them? How did I make it work? Is there any options that I can just plug and play? Yes, we can do that. So, can we produce the highest qualities of flight simulation hardware close to training level while maintaining an acceptable profit margin, keep us competitive with other companies? And we have the answer for you. Oh, I'm sorry, the audio have problems. Oh, it's not. Is that cool? Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, that's a real cool video. So it's probably this is my third time seeing it. So yeah. All right. So let's go. Let's get back down to the business. And we believe our product has brought our customer from virtual skies into the realities. As you can see, with the support of a vast team of commercial flight simulator engineers and our complete manufacturing lines, then we'll be able to brought you the product with a competitive price and the functionalities. We're excited today to bring the professional level of a product to every flight simulation enthusiast. This is the stuff we'll be able to do. So it's a dynamic control loading model satisfy the FAA EQTG requirements now, which means force feedback. Now, for the product that we'll bring next, this is our Airbus product line for the EFS left side and the right side. My next click will review the price. So let's see if that's really competitive. How about that? All right. I will get back to the CDUs. All right. Let's see. And sure, we got more. Oh, sorry. That one's to be determined. So, all right. Yeah, free. We'll do that at our booth for sure. Come over, we'll have the postcard. So, all right. Transponders, that's the cockpit for the 320s right there. And we got more stuff coming in by 2025. Now, we're not just gonna forget about the Boeing fleet. Guys, I'm a Boeing pilot, for sure. I love the aircraft. Even it's 737 MAX, so. How about that? Now, wait a minute, there's a thing here. It says start from 129.95, so meaning there's one higher product on it. So for anybody familiarized with the Boeing MCP, now there's one switch on the panel that has been electronically connected to the auto throttles. So on those Boeing aircraft, once you click the auto throttle disconnect button on the throttle lever, that one switch gonna kick off. Now, for the higher version for this one, I mean the more expensive version on that one, we are able to simulate that function. But with the price of that one, it's not yet to be determined. But it starts from $195.95 right here. So, if it's left and right side for the Boeing, how about that? Now, as we're showing the products here, our booth is getting ready for each and every one of you. So we have the demonstration team set up, the hardware things has been set up as we speak, and we do invite you. Come out, talk to us, check the things out. Oh, 7.3s. There you go. Yeah, it says nav dead out of date, so yeah. We're gonna fix that problem soon, so. That copy of 7.3. There's more stuff coming in 2025, for sure. Same as our Airbus fleet. Now, ever since our launch of our first airline product, the FCU for the Airbus, the combat simulation users have a worry about that we're no longer supporting a combat simulation product line. That we have to change our focus. No, we don't just give up our product line, we just got better. So, here's what we're preparing for you for the F-18 joystick version 2. Now, it has an exclusive enhanced immersion experience, which means it has a vibration motor inside the joystick. And we have developed a model which will correspond your actual flight conditions, in the simulator, in the DCS, or in other games, that will give you a vibration feedback, which you can feel. You lower the landing gears, raise the landing gears, weapon deployment, you takeoffs and landings, all the touchdowns. And yeah, it feels great. I do invite you to come check us out. We do have one set up over the booth that you can actually feel the vibrations on the stick while you're approaching the stall. So it's extremely good. And this is our vibration motor adaptation schedule. As you might see, we have fully adapted all the DCS now, and we're working with on the Microsoft 2020, and it's supposed to be finished by today, so June 24th. Okay. And the finalization day for the War Thunder is going to be on September 9th. So within this year, the majority of the simulations, whether it's airplane simulations or space simulations, that will be all adapted with our vibration models. This is one of our new products this year, the Ursa Minor airline joysticks. As you might tell, it kind of mimic one of the airlines that out there. So it has a left and a right stick, so we separate them, because we understand that Airbus have a different shape for their side sticks. So we just, give the pilot two choices. Now, they might choose right, they might choose wrong the first time, but they'll choose right the second time, for sure. That's a prize. All right, so as we're coming towards the end of the presentation, I want to talk about another matter before I actually forgot. So we've always tried to make your home simulation experience into the realities, right? But we weren't the first company to doing that. Years ago, a force feedback technology was introduced onto the joystick. This has been done by the Microsoft. It's been 27 years. I know I was a baby at that time. But I still have one of my collections of Microsoft force feedback with me at my home. I like Iron Man's dad, Howard Stark, says, I'm limited by the technology of my time. Now, even today, the force feedback systems on a home cockpit still wasn't cheap. It wasn't easy. And it's extremely hard to get it calibrated accurately. Now, I believe we're no longer limited by our time and by our technologies. Here I'm presenting to you Cybertar's force feedback joysticks. It has FAR Part 60 Level 5 joystick control loading force feedback systems. Now, simulation platforms and add-ons development only needs to provide us the usual data, which means just a user interface. And we have the force feedback model. Now, that's the conclusion of our presentation for today. And I believe our relationship has just started. So, like President Reagan used to say, trust but verify. So I think this is a brilliant phrase. Now we have to show you a lot of stuff, but in the end, the product has to speak for itself. So we invite you today to come over to our booth today or tomorrow in this great time of FSExpo. Come over, talk to us, and check it out so you can touch the product, feel it, and see how those things work together. And we hope and we'll love to meet you in person. Come talk to us, and you have a great experience over here. My name is Tony. Thank you for your time.
All right, well, your reaction to the price point for all those products, I think, speaks far more volumes than our reactions here on stage. I think that was awesome. So in order to save some time here, because we need to catch up a little bit, we're going to stifle our reactions. We're going to let your reactions stand on their own. That was awesome. Thank you. But we have our first virtual presentation from Sfly.io. Please turn your attentions to the screens.
Roger. 5474 Serenity 255.
Hello everybody, and welcome to this video. This is Roberto Capodici. I'm the spokesperson for Sfly, and I will let you know and I will show you what Sfly is all about. So let's start saying that Sfly enhances the realism in flight simulators. It merges the aviation passion with the virtual economy. So when you are there on your flight simulator, you are a pilot, we believe you should earn something that you earn only if you fly and you work for flying. And when you earn something, you can then purchase an airplane, purchase an airport, and earn every time somebody uses your airplane or everybody sometimes lands or take off from your airport. We merge all a simulated economy that is more than simulated, it becomes even real, to the world of sims. You can obtain your pilot's license, purchase an aircraft, all and manage your airport. Every activity you do in Sfly contributes to the game economy. And pay attention, you may be doing your regular flight with your friends. You just need to go there, activate Sfly, start the flight, and then go and enjoy the flight with your friends. While you do that, you are producing PAX token. PAX token is a token that you can use to then make expenses inside this Sfly economy. But it's more than that, because you can also trade it and sell it to your friend and sell it to other users that want to take a shortcut and be there faster. So you can monetize your flight time thanks to Sfly. Sfly is a fly and earn system that leads to real rewards. There is a marketplace. You can use your PAX token to go in the marketplace and shop for more assets. You can customize, buy, sell pilot license, aircraft, and there are over 40,600 faithfully reproduced real airports. This is a unique investment opportunity in flight simulation. There is a dynamic marketplace for all the asset management. It's a revolutionary flight simulation project. You can transform your virtual aviation interactions and extend the simulation from just flying an airplane to be also part of a career and a full economy around aviation. It's important to say that it's an ethical flight to earn with blockchain integration. Ethical because the value of the token that is produced and is minted is given by pilots flying airplane. So not everybody can go there, sit and fly an airplane. So the value of the knowledge on how to fly an airplane is what makes a difference. So it's an exclusivity to those that know how to follow the correct rules. And better you fly, more you earn. You have a bad pitch angle in landing, you lose your earnings. So there is all an analysis on how your flight is done, and based on that, the emission of PAX token is given to you. Sfly is born in a collaboration between creators, a flying instructor, a flight academy, and a Web3 expert, which is me. We have a team of developers, designer, marketing expert, people designing UX, UI, and preparing an interface that is simply excellent. I suggest to go to simfly.io and see with your own eyes what I'm talking about. It is an amazing place for simmers to go and also create community, but interact in a very powerful way with the real economy around aviation. There is a comprehensive wiki. We have regular newsletters, Discord servers, a YouTube channel that brings all the updates every week on the evolution of Sfly. Pilots, airplanes, and airports earn experience point based on the usage. So there is a point that you do based on the amount of time you fly, the amount of flight that an airplane does if it's yours, and an airport does. And this experience point allow you to upgrade the level of your asset. And higher the level, more mission you can do, and more income you generate when the asset is used. PAX, on the other hand, is the virtual currency if you want in Sfly. And you can use PAX to buy, sell, and manage assets, but you can also sell your PAX to other users for actual money. Pilot license is essential for a flying career. You can also fly using Sfly and collect experience point without owning a license. So it's free. There is no money to pay to play. You go there on simfly.io, create an account, download your plugin, set it up, and start flying. And your mission are going to be recorded, your flight analysis is going to be produced. But then, if you want to start earning PAX and start having a career, the first thing you need to do is to go and get a pilot license. And I suggest you get one now, get one soon as you get back home, because they gonna be more expensive soon. So we are still in the launching time, so don't lose the opportunity. There are also many different aircraft models. Some are special edition in a limited number, only few gonna be available. We already had several and more will come in the future. So only few people, only few users can purchase a particular model with a particular livery to have a unique object that they can conserve, collect, or resell. There are also more and more models that are going to be released with time, so that based on what is your preference to fly with your flight simulator, you can find the airplane in Sfly. Airports with experience point based on how many landings and takeoff they do can increase the level and they can increase the traffic. So even you start with the grass strips airport, or you start purchasing an airport that is very big like Dubai or London, it's gonna be anywhere level 1, and more traffic it generates, higher the level it is, more PAX generates for you to be able to then expand, integrate, upgrade, and do many more things in Sfly. Sfly is based on a map, which is a very detailed real-world representation with all the airport Sfly covers, which are those covered by most flight simulators. And there you can see all the traffic generated in Sfly and also in other systems. There are different missions that you can do. The test pilot is the basic mission. You don't need a license to do that. Then there is the restricted flight, the scheduled flight, the pilot day, the tour mission, and in the future there is going to be an editor for people to create their own specific mission and invite others to participate in it and see if they comply to the rules of your custom mission. There are detailed reports at the end of each flight, and there is a logbook for each pilot with all the records of all the flight done in Sfly. You'll be able to see your statistic, the tour around the world, and there is all the data that you wanted to know about your flight situation. There is also a leaderboard with the player rankings based on how many miles have done with the airplane rather than experience point collected, numbers of hours fly, and so on and so forth. We are using AI because who isn't in 2024 to give an analysis of the flight in the most details and depth manner as possible. So once you finish your flight and you press end flight, all the data of your flight are sent to the AI. The AI is going to do an elaboration and come back with an analysis of your flight. So you can also see all the past flight and also see all the analysis done. And you can share with friends in social media the flight that you've done with your score to show that you had the best pitch landing or the best management of the fuel, etc., etc. There is graphs that you can see, and also you can rebuild the route that you have done with the airplane in the map, seeing the altitude and seeing from what airport to what airport you've been flying. The system is compatible with Wassim, EVAL, Microsoft Flight Simulators, and other simulators like X-Plane and Prepare 3D. We are planning to build a full academy, multi-language videos and tutorials for people that want to learn to fly different kind of airplane and accommodate virtual airlines as well in Sfly. New mission and premium license subscription are going to be available soon as well. And there is a promo offer. There is a discount on all the sets valid for a very short time. So you can use the coupon code that you see on the screen now and use it to buy at a discounted price your license, your favorite airplane, and your favorite airport, unless somebody else already bought it before you. So rush up in simfly.io, get at the discounted price your asset, get your account, register in our Discord server, follow the newsletter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching, and Sfly, take off and get more.
All right, Sfly. What do we think?
Great. Yeah, we all know that flight simulation is a very serious hobby. It's very real. It's a simulation. It's not a game. But I think for those people who are motivated and interested in, the gamified elements, so sort of an in-game economy, being able to be competitive with yourself or with others, I think this can kind of add that gamified element to it. And if that's what you want, then I think they've done a great job of that.
It's always about, the more immersive and more purpose you can get in flight simulation, the more you're going to do it. So yeah, that's exactly it.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, we're going to move right on. Again, we're trying to get caught up with our time here. So next up, we have Combat Pilot is going to be presenting. They are a longtime supporter of FlightSimExpo. In fact, working on one of the more exciting new titles in combat flight simulation. Jason Williams was at the first FlightSimExpo back in 2018. And we're now welcoming him to the stage, so take it away.
Thank you. Hope you all can hear me okay. First of all, I want to say welcome to FlightSimExpo 2024 in the town that I personally call home, fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. So welcome, and I look forward to meeting you all this weekend out on the show floor. Before I continue, I want to point out that some of our teammates couldn't be here today. I want to say a very big thank you to Fritz and Fred and Tomas and John and Stefan and Uncle and Chris and Carl, Dakota and Chase. We would not be here today without your very hard work over the past year. So thank you very much, guys. Now on to the presentation. It's been a long time since there's been a new original hardcore World War II flight sim franchise. It's been over 20 years since that happened. And we're the first comprehensive Pacific Theater combat flight sim, also in 20 plus years. We're not a variant of an existing product or engine, and we're not a rehash of an old established IP. We're going to be the first hardcore combat flight simulator utilizing the Unreal Engine 5+. In other words, our project has no baggage, there's no confusion on who we are, and there are no limits to what we want to do. Now, the origins of Combat Pilot began with a partnership that was formed between Carlos and Barbed Wire Studios and myself, Sky Street Productions. Barbed Wire Studios has formed a subsidiary called Entropy Aero that will be responsible for the development of Combat Pilot. In our first year, we secured funding for our first year of operation. We recruited a small but dedicated team to the cause, and we began work on our prototype, which is what you will see at our booth number 416 on the show floor. So we've spent about a little over 12 months actually working on the project full time, and you'll see the fruits of that labor at our booth. Now I'll turn it over to Carlos to give you a little more of a technical side of things.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Carlos Flores. I'm the CEO of Barbed Wire, and I currently oversee the technical aspect of Entropy Aero. And here's a brief history of time of 2023. We've worked on 4 main pillars, them being technology, how can we push our product, implementing everything together into a cohesive product, developing the content that builds our game, and doing the PR and marketing to make it aware to all of you here. In terms of technology, we're taking advantage of the full potential of Unreal Engine, from DirectX 12, ray tracing, PBR, multi-threading, physically based sound systems and virtualized geometry. No more problems spotting aircraft in the sky as they switch LODs. From implementation, we're still working on the game mechanics, plotting the damage model, developing our geospatial solution, but we do have a tool set that we are using to derive the flight mechanics of those airplanes which are really hard to find information about, like the Japanese. This is a really powerful tool set that we are very proud to have. When it comes to content and peripheral support, we do have Tracker on our hubs, but we also have support for Track IR, and we're working on VR and motion support and all the goodies. For content, we have high-definition models, state-of-the-art, and we're working on partnerships to be able to develop more content in the future. Research, translations, beta testing, the full Monty, so to speak. For PR and marketing, we do have a Discord server. We set up our website. We have newsletters and surveys that you can sign up to that help us a lot in focusing our development. We're here at the FSExpo, and we also plan to set up Patreon and other merchandise. Jason will give more details about that in the future. And now we're going to talk about our approach. We do have a very unique approach, and in order to make it a bit clear, we're going to identify 3 main challenges that we plan to surmount. The first one is having a huge amount of different aircraft in the sky to a high degree of fidelity. It's 2024, making detailed content takes a lot of time and money. The second challenge is keeping up with technology. This thing's going to have a shelf life of 20 plus years. How can it be relevant in 2040? And the third challenge is how to provide a simulation that is true to history and that people can rally behind and say, this is a realistic flight sim. In order to tackle these challenges, firstly, for the first challenge, we do have a modular development of theaters and cohesive aircraft to go with it that Jason will give a little bit of insight about later. We do plan to collaborate for content development with talented partners, and we do have a very long planning to be able to make into fruition all of our goals. For the second challenge, we do have the advantage of Unreal Engine 5, an engine where every year millions of dollars are invested into pushing the boundary of the technology, and we have modern development practices, PBR, advanced engineering tools, so that any talented content creator can be onboarded with state-of-the-art technology and they will feel right at home. For the third challenge, this is a product for the community, by the community. I've been flying flight sim since I was 4 years old, and so has Jason. We have a transparent development where people can help build our product, be the best version of it that we can, and we do have a very simple approach to business. Our investor and our hardworking people always put the product and customer first. And with this mindset, we can make sure that we're not going to release something that we can't be proud of. We want to make sure that Combat Pilot is that IP that people can be happy about, a Western product of quality and a very long future ahead. Talking about the future, and now I'm going to pass it on to Jason, who's going to talk about the plans for next year and onward.
Thank you, Carlos. First, I want to say some of our slides have been truncated somehow. I think something happened to the formatting, so I apologize for that. Let's talk about our second year of development. We've been working at it for a little over a year. Now, in our second year, we have some very obvious goals. One, we need to increase our budget and expand the team. We're going to continue to refine our fundamentals such as physics, flight modeling, systems modeling, and of course the geospatial for you to fly over. And we're going to work on some new areas such as the AI, the damage model, our weapons, and our visual effects. And we'll start to work on our multiplayer, and of course we're going to offer VR support just as soon as we can, which is not very far out. We're of course going to build more aircraft and more ships, and we're going to work on our improving our graphical user interface and a launcher to help manage installs of the product. And of course, when the product matures a little bit more, we're going to have rigorous testing with alpha and beta testers in the near future. So what are our plans beyond the second year? Well, Combat Pilot's going to be released as a franchise with many different phases of development where each milestone brings something new until the product is quote unquote, feature complete. Our first theater of combat is going to be the Battle of Midway. And we're using the Battle of Midway as our proof of concept and our playground for our first bit of content that we're going to make. And we're also going to increase our community development and improve our web properties that some of you may have already seen. They're a little rudimentary at the moment. On the development side, we're also going to find, as Carlos mentioned, qualified content partners to make important aircraft and ships. And in the not too distant future, we're going to launch a Patreon and merchandise operation to help, because a lot of people have contacted me about somehow contributing to the bankroll of Combat Pilot, so we're going to give you an opportunity to do that if you're so inclined. And now that we have Midway established and we're working on a prototype, we're already planning for years down the line. So our first large-scale theater outside of Battle of Midway will be the Solomons. So if you're a fan of Guadalcanal, we're going to go there. And now for a short video of our demo. Hopefully it works. And I think I need to click it one more time.
Yes, sir.
All right. There you go. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys. So at the last break, we're not taking a break right now, don't get excited. The last break, I was talking with a few people, and one of them even mentioned it's time for us to have a combat flight simulator, kind of like we had, Microsoft had combat flight simulator years ago that was kind of old school stuff like this, and I did not know this was happening. So this is really cool to fill that spot. So.
That's exactly where I was going with it. It's been a while since we've had especially a good warbird combat simulator.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of modern jets, modern combat, things like that DCS World, and still offers both sides of it. But yeah, dedicated warbird, like it got my attention, definitely.
Yeah, definitely very cool.
And it's come so far in a year. Like for
I
them
know.
to say like that's the first year of development, what's
Right.
on deck for the second year, that's pretty incredible.
Exactly. It's going to be neat. So something to look forward to and check out, especially if you are into combat flight simulation. I know a lot of us are into airliners and GA and stuff like that, and shooting at other planes isn't necessarily something you're always thinking about, but it can bring a whole new fun aspect and camaraderie to shoot your friend out of the sky kind of thing. So. Next up, we're going to have this. I'm actually very curious about this one because I don't know what this company does, actually. And there's no information here for me other than they're called Slytherin. My assumption is it's Harry Potter related, but I don't think that's actually what it is. So they're finishing up, getting it ready. Guys, just let me know as soon as you're all set to go. Real quick, though, while we're stalling here, or are you guys good? We good?
I'm good.
Okay. Go ahead. I did cut my mic off, so.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is John Coughlin. I am representing Slytherin Games. We are a war game and military simulation and strategy game video publisher and developer, and I'm going to be showing you guys Scramble Battle of Britain. This flight sim community is, Slytherin typically we make a lot of strategy games, so this is our first opening into the flight simulation space. I'm just curious because we don't have a ton of marketing data on this yet. Can anybody who has heard of Scramble raise your hands for me? This is a small sample size, so this is excellent. This is why I wanted to come here. I am super excited to be here at FlightSimExpo because this is a very special event to me. My clicker might not work. Go ahead. Or maybe we're not. There we go. There we go. In 2019, I went down to Orlando and showed a very tiny game called Roger Meatball at the Flight Simulation Expo. And it was the first time that I'd gone to the event. I went down not knowing a single person, and I walked away from this event with a couple friends in particular who have remained lifelong friends. We talk every single day. I now have a big pool of friends who are all here coming to this event together. The flight simulation community in general has been important to me. This event has been incredibly important to me, both personally and for my career. So for that, I want to thank Evan, wherever he is, and the rest of the Flight Simulation, or the FlightSimExpo staff, because they put on a really fantastic thing. And I encourage all of you, especially the people who are here for the first time, look around while you're here, meet some people, shake some hands, and build some memories, because I promise it's going to be worth it. So Scramble is a tactical dogfighting video game. It's a turn-based game. So you set up a turn for all of the airplanes that you pilot. You're actually piloting airplanes. You set up maneuvers for those airplanes, and you hit simulate, and then it runs through about 2.5 seconds of simulation, and there's a full physics simulation underneath the game. There is damage modeling. There is pilot physiology. Your pilots can black out, they can die. And in Scramble, what we are attempting to do is to take combat flight simulation, which is like a reflex-heavy, stressful sort of engagement, and slow it down so that you can really enjoy the tactics, and you can explore, and you can learn. And we provide you with a bunch of tools for planning your maneuver, for exploring the airspace, and then for analyzing all of your performance. And in a minute here, I'm going to have my friend Sebastian run a live demo of the game. So Sebastian, can you tab out to Scramble? That should be it. And
To play on this display.
yeah, I guess Sebastian is probably going to have to play on a different display. So Sebastian, can you go into the tactical mode and just take a look at the sky? So Sebastian and I started up kind of mid-match because we wanted to make sure that there was some compelling action going on here. And so in Scramble, at any point, you can pop out and you can view the airspace as this sort of 3D diorama. Sebastian, could you go into review mode real quick? So when he goes into review mode, and then you can go into review mode, you can loop the action to see what your previous turn was. Sebastian, can you hit that review button again and toggle back? You can also, in the middle of any single turn, you can go back into a full match replay and you can scrub frame by frame through every moment of action. This allows you to do two things. It allows you to analyze your tactics, analyze your performance, try to figure out what your enemies are doing, but it also gives you a ton of flexibility to capture some great screenshots, capture some video. We have a full suite of cinematic tools that should allow you to take great photos. And so now, Sebastian, I'll have you hop back into the regular with the tactical mode, and we're gonna just let Sebastian run a turn here, and I think he's probably in a pretty good position, so you can go ahead and advance. And so right there, Sebastian just got a bunch of hits on the rear of the enemy. You can see that Sebastian has that plane targeted, and down on the bottom of the aircraft silhouettes on the UI, down on the sides, when a part gets damaged into like a critical state, it'll start to flash. And then if you overstress those parts, they will rip off, they will totally change the flight dynamics of the airplanes. All of the different airplanes that we have custom flight modeling inside of them, and we're not necessarily trying to match precisely the numbers that a specific like mark of Spitfire is going to output, but we are trying to match the trade-offs in between all of our aircraft. So a Spitfire is going to be able to turn like crazy. A 109 is going to dive really fast. It's going to roll really fast. A Hurricane is going to turn tightly at a lower speed. It's going to be a really stable gun platform. This first iteration of Scramble, which is a brand that we want to exist for a long time, is set in the Battle of Britain. And we have a playable free demo that's up on Steam right now. It launched on June 10th for Steam Next Fest. And so you could go to Steam at the moment, you could wishlist the game, you could download the demo if you brought a computer along with you, or when you get home, and you can play it right now. This is a vertical slice of the game that we have on this demo. And so it's going to allow you to play a couple training missions just to get familiar with the mechanics. It's going to also give you a bunch of sort of preset missions that we've made for you. But then we also have just this instant action mission randomizer. So you can go in and throw yourself in like a 2v6 dogfight. You can give yourself a higher number. But really the bread and butter of Scramble at the moment is this instant action, because every single time you play, you can see that while this is a turn-based game, and there have been other turn-based dogfighting games, a lot of those games have been sort of like board game based. And so you might be like putting in a set maneuver, like a quarter roll or like a half loop or something. But that's not what happens in Scramble. You should be able to see right here that Sebastian has full control over the control surfaces in his aircraft. And we want to make sure that this game is accessible for people who are super familiar with airplanes and people who are not familiar with airplanes at all. So Scramble is going to control, in our default control mode, we have something that we call a turn climb assist. Sebastian pulled too hard and blacked out a pilot right there, which is good. I'm happy that this is exactly what we're demonstrating, because the depth of this game is the fact that every single time you play, it's going to be different, because it is fully simulation based. And so in our default control scheme, which is the one that Sebastian is using at the moment, we have something called a turn climb assist enabled. And so when you fly an airplane, you do a lot of things. You mess with your ailerons, you mess with your rudders, but when you want to go and turn, that's a non-trivial maneuver for people who are not super familiar with airplanes. So we, in this turn climb assist, when you, on your turn axis, it's coupling some of your roll and some of your yaw control, so that basically when people move their sticks around, the airplane is going to, move to the right when they press to the right, and it's going to move up and down when they press up and down. And that makes the control scheme pretty much as accessible as something like an Ace Combat game, but when it launches in full, we will have a full 3-axis control scheme that allows you to play with rudder and ailerons and elevators all independently. Sebastian's playing on a gamepad. The game controls fantastically on a gamepad. We have remappable controls, so this kind of community is probably going to be interested in if they'll be able to hook up their hands-on throttle and stick. I'm sure that you guys will be able to figure out how to hook up all of that stuff yourselves. It's all going to be independently mappable, so you'll figure it out. But it plays fantastic on a gamepad. It also plays great with mouse and keyboard. The game can be interacted with almost exclusively with the mouse, or almost exclusively with the keyboard. We give you camera and airplane controls available with both of those sets. And eventually, Scramble will launch with a Battle of Britain campaign. It'll have, you will be a squadron manager. You will maintain a squadron of pilots from the beginning to the end of a Battle of Britain campaign. All of your pilots will be unique. They'll all have specific traits that either boost or limit their capabilities in certain dogfighting situations while they're in the sky. They will get fatigued. They will die. We'll have permadeath in there, and so it'll be a pretty big, robust thing. So to close, I'd like to make sure that you guys all know that, oh, I thought that was, is this, no, that's the game.
That's it.
That's the slides. So to close, you can find this game on Steam right now. You can download our demo as early as when you leave this show if you want. You can go, if you go to slitherine.com/scramble, that'll take you straight to our Steam page. So please go check it out, wishlist it, try the demo out. If you are interested in contacting me, if you're a customer, if you're a media person, if anything about this interests you, you can find all of my contact information here. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
All right, so it was not Harry Potter, so that's good. But I just thought it was funny. All three of us had a reaction to "They Can Die" for a bunch of Flight Simulator people. We don't die in Flight Simulator. What is that? So, but a very interesting new kind of game. Very strategy. It actually reminds me of being like the watching Top Gun and watching them review all of their maneuvers and stuff like that. So, very cool. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely right along the same lines of sort of where I was going with that. We have a tool that we use when we do our combat analysis in DCS that looks like they've sort of implemented right into the game. So that was a good call.
Very cool.
And I think it's cool that it's so accessible to people who may not know a lot about the planes from the Battle of Britain.
Right.
They may not have a lot of fancy flight equipment right away, so someone just getting into flight sim and thinks this is interesting can just hop on their mouse and keyboard or their game controller and hop in and give it a try.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with that, guys, we are going to take another approximately 10-minute break. Again, get some water, get hydrated. When we come back, we're going to be hearing from the likes of Navigraph, FlyInside, Flying Art, Toby, and plenty more. Hope you guys are finding this enjoyable and exciting. I know I am. We'll see you back in 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program will begin in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program will begin in a few moments.
Yeah, going out.
That wasn't the Blackbird video, was it?
It was just a little tough.
That was, yeah, what the heck? Did they mistakenly play it?
We should also get a photo before
Absolutely.
we run away.
And the karaoke bar.
All right, guys, take a seat.
Karaoke in years, but I was.
We are back. We're going to get started here. And coming up next, we have MicroProse. It's going to be a video. The next video comes from a company that a lot of you remember as a hallmark in games and simulation. Seeing that logo appear in a few seconds may bring back some memories, like an old friend returning home. What is being shown today may be a surprise to some of you, but this old friend wants to expand and be closer to the flight simulation community in more than one way. We hope you enjoy it. Turn your attention to the screens.
Tower 139 are requesting taxi to the active runway, wind direction, and altimeter setting, over.
Army 455, traffic southeast, cleared to main runway. Taxi following north perimeter track.
Well, let's get her in the air.
think about that? Man, we've been kind of on a warbird kick the last few presenters, but B-17, that looks amazing. Holy goodness. What do you guys think?
Oh, absolutely. The B-17 is probably one of the most iconic aircraft
Is your
of
mic
World War
on?
II. Probably not.
There we go.
There it goes. Hey,
Try it
hi,
again.
guys. I'm back. Anyway, the B-17 is probably the most iconic aircraft of World War II, in my opinion. I always have to say that. the YouTube thing kicked in there for a second. But yeah, gorgeous aircraft.
Awesome.
Looks cool.
It looks very cool. It looks very cool. All right, coming up next here, we have a Navigraph. There's probably not very many people in this room that doesn't know Navigraph, but maybe there's a few. So I know I look at their charts every time I open my sim. So take it away.
Phil and Evan, what a show you're putting on. This is exciting. We're off to a good start, I feel. In the off chance that you might not know about Navigraph, we're a company based in Stockholm, Sweden, and we spent 2 long flights to get here, and the jet lag is just about to wear off. We're good. My name is Magnus Axholt, and together with Stephen O'Connell, we founded this company some 20 odd years ago. We were college buddies at the time, but that's a different story. We're here to do Navigraph Charts feature announcement. Joined on the stage is also Jason. You might know him from our YouTube channel. At Navigraph, he works as a technical support specialist because you know a darn lot about the SimBrief performance calculator, for instance. You also have a sweet voice that we use for the narration of our YouTube productions. You should go to the YouTube video. We have one on Miami, which is quite nice. But there are others as well. Am I coming across? Okay, cool. Right, so can we do a little poll here by just raise of hands? I just want to know how many of you out here who are Navigraph users. All right, thank you for your support. As you know, we are very tightly linked to the community. We have big ears and, believe it or not, small mouth. And we're listening really closely to what you guys want. So please come over to the booth afterwards and tell us exactly what you want for the future, and we will do our best to build it. Also in the booth, we have a little surprise for you. As you might not know, Navigraph has a side gig. We're also a food company, apparently. Previous shows, we have offered a hot sauce, which some of you still have in your fridges, I believe. In Houston last year, we offered a barbecue rub because we thought that would be fitting. And this year is no different. We have an apron in our booth that you can get. There's a little effort required on your part, but I'll tell you more once you come and see us, all right? Okay, so when we were in Houston, we showed you weather. We had weather overlays, but that was a year ago. And since then, a lot of things have happened. For instance, you know, you have one of these usually in your back pocket. Did you know that you can follow your flight on your iPhone while you're away, or Android for that matter, while you're making some tea or when you're at dinner? You can make sure that your transatlantic flight is going as planned. That's what we use telemetry for, right? We also listened to you guys. You needed the flight plan inside of Navigraph charts. So now the SimBrief OFP is viewable inside of charts. ATIS is in there. And, well, we're all armchair tourists, aren't we? So we want to fly around and say, hey, I can see my house from here. And that's what we use satellite maps for. There's another base layer in Navigraph charts that you might be interested in as well. There's another type of charts in there, the FAA sectionals. I hope you get good use of those. And back by popular demand, I would say, is the ability to scribble on your charts. You can do that with a stylus or with your fingers. Here's an interesting one. For all those VFR pilots out there, we have an improved land cover or a classification of land. So when you're following say, a field or a pasture, or it borders to a forest, then it's much easier to make that mapping between the VFR chart and, it's much easier to make that mapping from the simulator over to the charts. That's what I wanted to say. Significant weather is also on here, and here you also see a little glance of something that we released just a few days ago. It's the ability to put up to 3 different weather layers simultaneously on the charts, so that you can see, here's the Doppler radar and the wind barbs along with significant weather. Derek at SimBrief, he coded up a thing which is very useful. You can now calculate 2 or more different routes and then compare which one you want. That's a nice one. And I hope you haven't missed the performance calculator. And then, of course, to all the developers out there, you know that we have APIs and we have a pretty crafty development department as well, and we love to work with you. So if you want to have Navigraph charts in your add-on aircraft, or if you want to use our AMDB data, for instance, or what might it be, just give us a shout at dev@navigraph.com and we'll make it happen. So, we're here for a feature release, and Stephen here will be performing a technical demo. Jason and I will have a little chat about the significance of this particular feature, and the feature is, drum roll,
So the feature is traffic, online traffic, Navigraph traffic, and also ATC sectors, ATC control. This is the top-rated feature request in our wish list, and it's being asked for by you guys for many years, and we're very happy to be able to present this coming feature today. Now, I say coming because it's not released yet. It's currently in active development. We're still taking feedback, so if you want to try this out yourself, you can come to our booth. We will have a live demo there as well, and we'll be happy to talk to you about this and how we can develop this. I'll attempt now to do a technical demo. This is live with a bit shaky mobile connection, so bear with me. All right, so at the top here we have a new button called Networks. Let's press that. First thing that will happen is that we will show all the Navigraph pilots currently flying in real time. Now, Navigraph is not an ATC network. Navigraph is, you can call it a community of pilots and friends, right? Currently, we're tracking between 2,000 and 10,000 users simultaneously in real time. And with real time, I say 1 second update rate. So basically, these are all you guys flying with moving maps and Simlink running. you're all on this map. You can, of course, interact with this. So let's click some random guy here. So we see this is a person flying 240 knots or so, 452 knots ground speed. You can see the flight path. This is still work in development, so we're going to flesh out the information you get about pilots. So this is currently what we're sort of working on, and we'll be happy to talk about this in our booth with you guys, how we can develop this sort of Navigraph network further. Let's leave Navigraph for now and check out VATSIM. So currently we're tracking 800 or so pilots flying on VATSIM, again in real time. 1 second refresh rate on all these pilots. So you can track anyone flying on VATSIM in real time. And for this, we have been working closely with VATSIM. I would like to thank Tim Barber, VATSIM president, and his team, especially Richard and Jacob, who have been working very closely with our developers. Of course, again, you can interact with these pilots in the same way. You get this information screen down here, and we're going to flesh out all the information you get from the pilots flying on VATSIM. Again, we can press IVAO and get the same type of real-time refresh also here. We've been working very closely with the IVAO web development team, especially David Chikachev for the smooth integration work here with a real-time connection. Now, checking the online pilots is one thing. We can enable this button here to see all the controlled airspaces currently. And again, everything is interactive here, so you get who's in control. Jordan here is controlling Salt Lake City currently since 24 minutes, and that's his frequency. All right, so what you can also do is all these flight paths are in 3D, so you can check also the altitude all the aircraft are flying to see basically where they're coming from. You can see their approach, their descent, and we're also planning to show where they're actually going. All right, so this is the feature. Again, it's not released. There are still quite a lot of things that we're going to be working on here in the next coming months, and we'll be very happy to talk to you guys about what you think is important. We have already done so to build this, but the devil is in the details. So please come by our booth and check it out, and we're happy to talk to you. With this demo, I'm going to hand it back over to Magnus, and you can talk about this feature and why it's important.
Well, why it's important, what do you think, Jason? Why will people actually appreciate this and use it?
Yeah. Well, how many of you have flown on a VATSIM event before? Show of hands. It's a lot, right? The thing about when we're flying an event and we're going into an airspace, and we might pull up, I'm going to throw Jacksonville. You might throw Jacksonville up, and there's 15 Jacksonville centers, right? And we don't know which one to pick. And then you call a frequency in the first one, and they go, that's wrong frequency. Contact this one. With this, we're going to be able to see the sectors broken in. It's a work in progress, but that's going to happen. So that's huge for us as pilots and ATC. It saves us time. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We would love for you guys to come to the booth and show us what is the last 5–10% that you want to add to this, or 100 for that matter, we don't care. Tell us everything that you want, and we'll make sure that it happens. We flew over quite a large team here, so I'm sure you'll find someone to talk to. Can we just have the Navigraph team get up so that we can say hello? So any one of us on the team is happy to speak to you and see what we can incorporate into this. Now, Stephen, can you tell us a little bit about what the additional interfaces will be that we plan to add? There was something about a profile view and something that you mentioned 3D and so forth.
Right. So, of course, it's important to see the flight from a top-down view, but to be able to see the flight path in 3D and also the change in airspeed, the change in altitude is important. So this is something we're going to add, probably as a little widget appearing at the bottom of the screen for any aircraft that you click. That's one example. We have many ideas, and we're happy to hear your feedback again about other ideas.
Right, and also I think people are curious. Could you mention something about the technical challenges that were needed to overcome to achieve something like this?
Well, it's the main challenge has been getting this real-time connection be as smooth as possible, both for our infrastructure, but also for the client. We don't want to bog down the end user's computer too much. So even though we're displaying about 10,000 aircraft moving in real time here, we have really tried to optimize this to have as little footprint as possible, which we've managed to achieve now. So that's been one of the biggest challenges.
I don't know if it's me or who it is, but Jason here would be really happy to take some of the questions from the floor.
You want to pick them?
I want to pick? All right. How about this gentleman over here? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the gentleman is asking about in the sectors there's a vertical structure as well. Can we speak to this?
It's something we're planning to add. We're investigating exactly how much we can get out of the different APIs that we're working with, but that's absolutely the goal, yes.
Front row over here.
On the FlightSim stuff, when you click on the sector, will it show, the actual frequencies and everything of every center and ground and
Yes.
tower and all that?
Yes.
So
currently we're not showing ground and tower in this demo, only the sectors, but that's for sure added soon.
And for you folks in the back, the question was, if you click a sector, will you see all the frequencies in there? And the answer is yes. I believe there was a question, gentleman in the colorful shirt. You're wondering whether there will be a fix when you open the operational flight plan from SimBrief, and it makes what crash?
Just the entire sim crash.
Oh, the entire sim. I'm quite sure that that will be fixed, yes. We can't have that. Yes, over here. Ah, interesting. Okay, yes. So the gentleman here is asking if we have taken the local computer performance into account when we do something like this, so it doesn't create too big of a footprint should you run the simulator alongside with charts. Is that correct? No, we haven't taken this into account, of course. Well, that's actually for our CTO to answer.
Right now...
Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Of course, we want to be able to run this at the same time as the simulator. If you don't have a powerful PC, there might be some adaptations maybe in the update rate, depending on the available resources. We're not fully there yet, but for sure we're having this taken into consideration. Yeah.
Good point. Thank you.
This gentleman had a. Did you have your hand up before?
Yes, the gentleman in the gray shirt.
So now that you have the integration with VATSIM, will you be able to pull up the airport diagram with the gates and see who spawned at what gates?
Yes, sir. So the gentleman is asking whether or not we would have the airport overlay so that you can see specifically what aircraft is at what gate. So yes, we will. The traffic will be working down to the very smallest level.
Another neat thing is when you're flying with a friend, you have to call that person in front of you and say, what's your airspeed and altitude, like every 10 minutes, right? With this, you can just click on the target and you can see the ground speed. So,
we had a question over here, yes.
Somebody clicked on a user before, it wasn't showing like their actual profile name. Would you be able to see the profile name of the person?
Yes. Yeah.
Would you be able to mark yourself private so that they can
That's a very good question.
the ability to search for another person and
yes.
It makes them selected or
Yes. I'm just going to repeat your question to the people in the back. So the gentleman here is asking whether or not you can turn on and off your visibility, mainly for privacy reasons, I presume. That's at least why we are planning this function. And you also asked whether or not it would be possible to search for someone's user handle. And yes, the intention is to increase the possibility of connecting with other pilots eventually.
We'd love to do question and answer here forever because it's very interesting. We do have to move on, but they will be at a booth. And so if you have a question for them, an idea for them, that is going to be your opportunity tomorrow and Sunday to go check out the team. There's a lot of them, obviously. It's like a Swedish invasion. So, but anyway, fantastic stuff, Navigraph. It's always a pleasure to have you guys here. All right, panel, what do we think about the Navigraph?
The Navigraph is the Navigraph, and there's really not much more you can say other than they are the Navigraph.
Exactly.
It is. If you guys don't use Navigraph for your flight sim, you are missing out on so much. I mean, one of the things I didn't actually hear them talk about was the fact they added VFR sectionals this year too, and that was like, yes, we've been asking for that for 10 years. I can remember. So yeah, epic for me.
Yeah. Such like attention to detail, and I've had a Navigraph subscription for just 6 months now. I'm kind of late to the game, but still just diving into everything that's available. And they're obviously like just shout out to being responsive to the community, taking questions, you know, adapting and adding new features based on what people are asking for. So that's nice to see too.
Absolutely. You can't say enough about a company that wants to come in, make a great product, constantly improve the product, but also is really intentional about reaching out to all of you guys to really find out, hey, what do you guys want for your sim? And so that's just a big thing for me. I know I've got a few little ideas that are, you know, not major things, but once he said, you've got any ideas, I'm like, ooh, there's some things I can think of that would just make it that much better. So I think we're now ready with the next group here. We've got FlyInside, and this is Rick Miller. So take it away, sir.
Why, thank you very much. How's everybody doing? You're having a good time? This is a good expo, let me tell you. I do have to say I don't like carrying stuff quite so far on these hallways, though. 300 pounds back and forth, it's not as much fun as it sounds, I assure you. I don't know if anybody knows who FlyInside is. I'm going to do a stupid little PowerPoint, but then I'm going to get to the meat of the potato, which is we're releasing today 2 brand new helicopters. So that is the big deal for us. And you will be able to come into our booth where we have 4 flight sims, full cockpits set up, one of them full motion, 360 degrees. And you will be able to get on there. I did bring barf bags. I did. Because if you can't fly a helicopter well and you sit on the pedals, you are going to spin around really fast. So the only thing that'll set me off is that. If anybody knows me, I am a commercial professional pilot. I have been for many, many years. I've got 11,000 hours currently, somewhere in that neighborhood. I kind of stopped counting. I own helicopters. I own a Jet Ranger currently. You can fly it in the sim. It's Rick's livery, which is, I know, not very creative, but that's what it is. And then one of the new ones we're releasing, I own one of those as well. So I fly an awful lot. Helicopters are not the easiest thing in the world to fly. Anyone who has tried to do it will attest to that. FlyInside, and we just get to this. I got this cool logo. Just spins around. It's really neat. I like it. Yeah. So there it is. Woo, FlyInside, that's us. It's our new logo. Notice it has airplanes and helicopters on it. There is a reason for that, which may or may not be a surprise. So FlyInside, we've been developing flight simulators for many, many years. Who here remembers FSX? Yeah, that's my peeps right there. We did FlyInside FSX. We were the first people to allow you to fly in VR in a flight sim. And in my world, that was a game changer. Just having depth perception, the ability to look out the window, to lean out in a helicopter sim, that was pretty cool. And me personally, I started simulating, I don't want to tell you what year because it'll make me seem even older than I am, but Sublogic's FS1 on an Apple II. Not a 2 Plus, I wish I had one of those, 16K language card. But the day after I started flight simming, I started ground school in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And it's a long road from there, but every single sim that came out, I bought, I set up, I played with, and you just got to kind of know the limitations that you have within the sim environment. And tomorrow I'm doing what I like to call a TED Talk on that. It's on your schedule. It's helicopter flight dynamics realism in the flight simulator environment. It's not easy to do. So here we go. Since our first product, we are pushing the boundaries of what you can see and play with in technology. Now with flight dynamics. So we're expanding. The original owner of the company, a guy named Dan Church, you may have talked to. I bought the company from him about just a little less than a year ago now. He still works with us, but he's now, believe it or not, an airline pilot. So Dan's kind of moved up and out. Here's our revolutionary Bell 47. It was the first helicopter with real dynamics in MSFS, and we keep updating it. As you can see, we've updated it 18 times since it was released. There's an update, actually it'll probably be released tomorrow for it, which adds a few features, and we can talk about that later on. The G3B variant will be coming out later this year. That's a turbocharged engine. So all you guys that want to do Mont Blanc, you can now do that without making it, an 800-pound helicopter and taking all the parts off of it. So the next one we came out with, that's my paint job on my aircraft, so I had to get it in there somewhere. And the legend that's the Bell 206, there were over 15,000 of these made in various variants, and they're still flying today. I can attest to that. So we've done 17 updates since we released it in December of 2022, and we've just released an update. Microsoft has it in their hand, but we all know about Marketplace. It may take a little while for them to decide to actually post it. If you want, you can always buy it from our website directly, and then you will get the updates immediately as soon as we release them. So coming soon, I know a lot of you guys are DCS guys and military guys. We are doing the OH-58A and B models, which has a different engine, and also the 206A model, which my helicopter represents right up there. And you will have some stuff like, weapons. So that might be kind of interesting. So this year, we've expanded. Now that we have a much, much larger team, we can release many more things much quicker than we've ever done before. And we have agreements that I've signed with a bunch of major manufacturers. We now own the IP. So that means that we will be the sole source supplier for them. They're going to be using our aircraft for training. We have our own FlyInside flight simulator. Anybody know that one? We released it as a consumer product, and now it's a commercial product, and Bell Helicopter is using it, as well as quite a few other companies, and we're going to soon be certified to be able to use MSFS for the scenery in a PCATD, an approved device. We're going to get to level 5 probably next year, so if you want, you can start logging the time if you have the correct hardware, which is a very cool thing as far as I am concerned. Towards that end, we have to replace the MSFS flight dynamics model. If any of you guys know our products, we are only using Microsoft Flight Simulator for scenery because it's beautiful. Let's face it, no other sim looks quite so good right now. But it's limiting because Asobo decided that helicopters weren't really the most important thing to them, so they did it as best they could, and they did a really good job, but they're really focused on gamers rather than hardcore simmers. So if you want to have something that you can hop in and fly around like a hero, more power to you. That's fun, that's the way you want to fly. But if you want to learn how to fly an actual helicopter, it is not the easiest thing in the world. If it was, more than 1% of all certificated pilots would be helicopter pilots. So it's hard, but it's a super rewarding thing to do. In our Heli Manager app, which is part of the WASM file, you can actually slide down the realism and up the stability, so you can fly it like a UFO.